Some people love battling monsters, defeating gods.
And don't forget about arguing with boy.
Boy, what?
Inside, boy.
Oh, yeah, that too. Welcome to God of War. This is our perspective on what we want to see in the brand new game of God of War Ragnarok. My name's Seb, and I'm here with
The real Kanizoide, the one and only, who's still stuck playing Elden Ring.
and we're going to be talking to you literally about what we want to see in this game. So let's begin. So Kanizoide, it's been a while. How's everything going on your end? And are you ready for God of War Ragnarok?
Well, everything's going pretty well for me, and absolutely I'm ready for Ragnarok.
Me too. In fact, the original 2018 game for me personally of how I got into playing that game was all to do with the kind of like, I think the marketing strategy for me for that game really helped build my interest in the game. But after that, the story, the learning, all that stuff was just a bonus of what made me interested in it. In fact, it was the game that was marketed as a game with no cuts whatsoever. If you played the game from beginning and you didn't die and you played it continuously until the end, if you're as insane as that to play that game for that length of time, you would not see any camera cuts in that whole timing. That's what this game was marketed as, the game with no cuts. And Kanizoide, how did you get into God of War 2018?
Well, my story with God of War is quite different from yours because I started off with the original games, the original trilogy, the ones that came out in the PS2 and the final game that came out on PS3, yes. How I got into God of War is kind of a random story for me because back in the day, I don't have any internet and nothing, so there's no way for me to know anything about the games. Just as soon as I see the picture, I buy it. While I was in a game store, I saw a picture of God of War and thought it was cool. Decided to buy it, and then it turned out to be the best game I ever played in my life, and I was hooked with the next games. Yes, the original series was for me was very well done. I love the first game, still holds as one of the best games ever made. Loved the second one. Enjoyed the third one a lot, but it does have some quite disappointing parts. And there are other games of God of War in the PSP, the PSP games. Yes, they were good and tell more about the story of Kratos. And the final game released from the old generation, I would say, was God of War Ascension, which was good to say the least. But then God of War 2018 came in. They started off new and fresh, loved it, completely loved it, and now they're hooking me up for God of War Ragnarok, and I can't wait. But I truly hope that this game far exceeds our expectations, because they said that this game's gonna be the final towards the Norse mythology, and if it is the final, it has a lot to deliver.
Yeah, this is looking so exciting, and I can't wait to actually step into it myself. I'm so built up for this game, and one of the things that there are so many things that I really want in this game. In fact, and if it is the build up to the, what is going to be the ending of this whole realm, then they are good. That I'm really excited to see. They've done a really good job on the previous. So I can't wait to see what they're going to do with this game. But my next question is going to be, bosses and enemies. Are they unique and powerful? Could they have been improved? Are they unique and powerful enough to battle? What is your take on this one?
Well, I'll start off with the enemies. My only problem with God of War 2018 is that there isn't a lot of enemy variety, much, I would say. Sometimes you might be fighting the same enemies over and over as you're exploring. And in terms of bosses, there isn't quite a lot. I'm pretty sure, and I think I've watched a video of the director of God of War 2018 talking about it. They wanted to have lots of bosses in the game, but they couldn't. And Also, another thing that I hated about 2018 is some of the bosses are literally the same but different reskins, and that's the trolls. Those giant trolls, I would say. So basically, you're literally fighting the same boss but with different skin, and that's a bit disappointing. And with the first trailer that was launched for God of War Ragnarok, yes, so far they are improving on that. They have shown more enemy varieties and more new enemies, and the most newer type enemies that I'm excited for is the warriors from Asgard, as they literally come out of nowhere to ambush you. And I'm truly excited to see what kind of Asgardian warriors we might see. Something else, something that yes got me excited to Ragnarok is like we actually gonna meet human beings, human fighters, warriors who are coming to take you down. That's one thing that that I didn't like about God of War 2018. Is like there's only one part where you encounter other humans like you, and that's it. So I truly hope that we get other interactions with more and more people in this game. And towards bosses, they gotta push it up to like the gotta push it up to a whole other level, because in God of War 2018 they didn't showcase any of the main gods in the Norse mythology. But here in Ragnarok, there's a lot of ones that people, including me, are interested in. We still haven't seen Odin. We've already seen Thor, who's really needs to lose some weight if I wanna like him. But anyway, we already know that Odin's gonna be in the game, and I can't wait to see him. But I wanna know if how about Thor's friends, because they are a key part in the Norse mythology too. And there's also I hope I say his name correctly, Heimdall, the guardian of the Bifrost, the guy who I think always remain at the gate of Asgard. He's also a strong god who I hope is a boss that you can fight him in the game. And also, since this is Ragnarok, I hope, and he may be the final boss. If I can pronounce his name correctly, I don't know exactly, Sutter or something, the guy who is based around Ragnarok, the one who brings calamity to the gods. So I hope that he is introduced to the story and maybe the final boss. Ragnarok has a really great line of bosses and gods that I hope will be facing in the game. It has a huge potential, and I know that they'll exceed that potential.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I think one of the things that I really wanted to just mention on that was some of the things, like the bosses and the trolls and the enemies inside this game. They do this familiar thing, which I always quite like spotting on, is you see a character, and the first few moments of them being introduced, they are represented as a boss in the game, as something just a little bit harder, and then you defeat them, you do a battle with them and all that kind of stuff. Once you defeated them, you see them a lot more, and they're not bosses at that point. They are then just characters. So you'll see a very unique troll, and then later on in the game they're not as unique anymore because you see them a lot, and they're not as they're not really big battley bosses anymore, and so you see I don't know, you'll go to a realm and you'll see 3 enemies that are powerful, and you'll leave that realm and they'll be less every time you see them they're less and less unique, and they're less and less powerful because you're getting stronger, if that makes sense. Anyway, moving on to the next game. Kratos, portrayed as a character from past to present, because you played all the previous, I have not. What is your take as Kratos as a character, from where he comes from where he is currently right now, going into Ragnarok on the game?
One thing that I really like is that Kratos' character has changed from the old games to the newer ones. And we'll start off with the first God of War. And the first God of War, Kratos was, I would say, a depressed. Well, the best way for me to describe it was a sad, depressed warrior who was trying to accomplish his mission to get revenge towards the god who ruined his life and try to find peace. That's one thing that many people don't understand. Kratos is not the raging monster who we all know. He's a lone Spartan warrior who's trying to find peace because of the things the god they did to him. They ruined him. And towards the second and third game, he started hating the gods and wanting to kill them because they ruined his life. And going on to the new games, Kratos started knowing that the things he did are very, very bad, tremendously bad. And he started to change, trying to better himself as a person. And with Atreus, his newborn child, he's now trying to redeem himself and change himself as a character. And I really love about that. So basically, Kratos is trying to get redemption on himself, try to forget about his past and live life as a new person. And that's hard on him. So one thing I realized while playing the original games, on God of War 3, Kratos' job is to kill Zeus, and with the death of Zeus, it is the end of Olympus that brings like destruction to the whole world and everything. Listen to this. So, on God of War 3, your objective is to defeat the King of the Gods, which will lead to the destruction of Olympus and also the destruction of the world and mankind. Now, take a look at this. Kratos was the one who literally destroyed the Greek mythology. But now, on God of War Ragnarök, Kratos and Atreus are trying to stop Ragnarök, which is going to bring the end of the Norse mythology and mankind. I love this beautiful transition going in from the man who literally destroyed the Greek mythology to now trying to save the Norse mythology from Ragnarok. And after I realized that, I really loved it. And I hope that they exploit upon it even more.
One thing that I was really interested in when I was actually playing these when I was playing 2018 is my perspective from Kratos was only from that 2018 person, well, 2018 character, and he was this guy who threw an axe and he could get very angry at certain points, but he was also very, very calm, and you can see that there's a lot of learning that he's been through. You can see that there is a past towards him that he's obviously fought through, because he's not a character that's new to war. He's a character that's been through war, and you can see that there's a lot of stuff inside of him, inside the stuff that he's been through. Gonna move it on to the next question right now. Is God of War 2018 length too long or too short, or is the pacing just right? Because it's a very long game, but is it a good pacing for that type of game? I personally think it felt very long when I was playing the game, and to just but sometimes I think it's meant to be long. I think it's meant to be that length for a reason. It's a story, it's a learning thing, you're learning so much as you go through it. But yeah, what's your take on that?
I think it's in terms of pacing, for me it's close to perfect. There are so many parts I love about God of War 2018. There are some parts where the game kind of slows down and gets a little bit boring, and yeah. But the strong thing about God of War is sometimes it does get a little bit slow when the pacing kind of slows down and you start getting boring. But then after, it hooks you back with something big happening. A key part in the story happens. For example, there's the part the part when you have to find the key in order to go to Jotunheim, where they're going to throw away the ashes and accomplish their missions. So you're basically going around trying to find this stone. That's a little bit of a boring part, but then it hooks you back with literally a boss fight out of nowhere with Thor's sons, and gets back to the action, hooks you back. You're fighting a huge threat, and right after, your son kind of like gets a little bit sick and starts his sickness starts to develop. So that catches you. Something's happening to Atreus, and it catches you off guard, and then it continues back. And continues back, and the story starts to hook you in back. Yes. So in terms of pacing, I'll say it again. The pacing is close to perfection. Why? Because God of War has a lot of the parts where it hooks you and you enjoy that. You enjoy it a lot, the action, the gameplay. But also there are some parts where it kind of slows down. The puzzles can get a bit tedious and boring, I would say, and sometimes the exploration as well can get a little bit boring. But still. I am really excited for Ragnarok because we're actually allowed to traverse through all the 9 realms, and that's something that can hook you to further explore. I truly hope that they do the same thing they did on 2018 with the Valkyries. You find like secret bosses and stuff while you're exploring the 9 realms. That gives you more reason to like explore. When you know that you can find something very, very interesting and catches you off guard. So yeah, the pacing is very, very good. I'll say you'll enjoy it.
I was coming to a point when I was just thinking on that when you were saying that. Then there is a point, and I'm not going to say where it is or what it's about, but you think in the game at one stage when you first play the game, you're coming to an end, and it's going to lead up to a lovely eventual end of the game, and you're like, I can feel at peace. And the game twists you around and goes, no, this is not the end of the game. You brought this game for lots of money, and we're going to give you every single one of those of your penny's worth. And I'm like, okay, awesome, I'm into more action here, let's keep going. And that when you hit that point, you're like, yeah, you kind of start feeling that's how they did the length of the game for that type of game. They're like going, right, okay, there's more than you think. Let's just say that. Moving on to the next question. I'm saying that quite a lot in this video, but what difficulty, as for someone who hasn't played this game before and knows nothing about this game, what difficulty would you say was the best difficulty for someone to play this first time round, and why?
Well, I'll say for anyone who is going to like play God of War Ragnarok as his first God of War, I'll say to play the game on specifically normal for like a good challenge, and also a difficulty where you can enjoy the story and try to figure out the gameplay and everything, because God of War is a game that tells you a story. So I'll say if this is your first time playing, play it on a normal difficulty just so you can further enjoy and understand the story, understand the mechanics, and have a great time. And if you're someone who's a huge fan of the God of War games, have been with it and wants a really good challenge, play it on hard. That gives you a really good challenge and pushes you to further improve, and also it's a difficulty that focuses on good challenge and story enjoyment. Yes.
Cool. I think the last thing that I wanted to talk about, and that is the very final part of the video right now, is what key parts would you like for the game God of War Ragnarok to explore? What are the key points that you think are going to be the most interesting in this new game?
There's a lot of things that I want them to explore upon, like the relationship of the gods and the Norse mythology, like what's going on between them and everything. What's going on with Freya, since after we killed her son at the ending of the God of War 2018, she kind of flipped, and now her sole goal is to kill us while Kratos and Atreus trying to prevent Ragnarok. I wonder what they're going to do with her. What she's gonna do? Is she gonna go back to the others? I also want to know I also want to see their take on Asgard, how it's gonna look and everything. in the other realms as well. And one thing that I want them to focus on is the relationship between Atreus and Kratos to further develop. Atreus now knows a little bit about Kratos, but he doesn't know about his past. And Kratos done a lot of bad stuff in his past with the original trilogy. And one thing that I hope that the expand upon is I truly hope there will be a part in the game where like Atreus finds out what Kratos done in the past, other than like he killed his own father, about his old family, what he did to his family, why he hates the gods so much, what he's done in the past as a ruthless murderer and stuff. Because you want to see what would Atreus think of his father when he knows everything he's done, when he knows his past and stuff, and when he knows what kind of man he was. Because that I want to see what they will do with it. So what I'm trying to say here is, what will Atreus think of Kratos, his father, after he figures out and literally knows everything about his past, knows why they call him the ghost of Sparta and everything, and knows what Spartan warriors are born to do and everything, his conquests and stuff. So the key factor that I want them to showcase in the game, that I want them to focus on, is what will Atreus say, or what will he do when he finds out why Kratos is known as the ghost of Sparta and what he's done in the past. I want to see that. I want to see what will Atreus do or think when he knows that his father was the one who brought calamity to the Greek mythology.
Smiling right now. Yeah, so basically, that game, yeah, all that stuff in that game, I'm so looking forward to it as well, and it looks incredible, and I can't generally wait to get my hands on it and discover loads of things. I think one of the things that I want to see in this game is just like the relationships between these two characters that we've explored with in the previous game, and yeah, just seeing how they work together and exactly like what can you do to these characters in a game that's called Ragnarok. I mean, they've explored, what were the two mythologies? There's North mythology, and what's the other one called?
Greek mythology. God of War games that focus on the Greek mythology. Yes.
Greek mythology. That's it. So they've explored the Greek, and now they're going deep diving and exploring Norse. Like, where does it go to after that? Where does everything go to? Yeah. That we're looking forward to the game. Tell us what you're looking forward to in the game in the comments down below. We would both love to read your comments. If you message anything, please just let us. Just tell us what you think, and we'll see you guys in the next Jump Inside video, and hopefully you'll enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Ta-ra and goodbye.
Bye.